So let's move on. I want to go to the next scriptural verse interpreted by one of the church fathers. We're back to John Chrysostom. He lived from 349 to 407 AD. And again, I want you to think about if what John Chrysostom is saying is consistent with a universal, widely held belief that Mary was preserved from the stain and inclination towards sin at the moment of her conception. Just think about that, because that's what we were promised by Pius IX, that the church fathers, East and West, had all believed this. And so just keep in mind that Tertullian would be considered Western, and John Chrysostom would be considered Eastern. He's from Antioch. So let's just, and we'll get into a little bit from Tertullian in a little bit, but John Chrysostom, this is the wedding at Cana, John 2, verses 1 to 11. This is the moment that Roman Catholics often appeal to in scriptures, that Mary commanded Jesus to do something and he obeyed. But go back and read the text, and there's never a command from Mary to Jesus. There's only a command for Mary to the servants at the wedding. But here's the thing, is that Mary intervened in a place that Chrysostom didn't think that it was appropriate for her to intervene, and he considered her intervention to be sinful, and Jesus had to correct her of saying this. This is from homilies on this is actually homilies on Matthew, but he's referring to Mary in that event. He said when he corrected her, he both healed the disease of vainglory and rendered the due honor to his mother. So it's interesting here. See, Protestants would take the position that Jesus honored his mother, but that doesn't mean that. And so here, John says that by rebuking Mary, he healed the disease of vainglory. So imagine someone today in Roman Catholicism saying, well, Mary had the disease of vaingloriousness, and it's a good thing that Jesus healed her of that. Or Mary suffered from the sin of unbelief, and it's a good thing that Jesus died on the cross that he could cleanse her from that sin. Because this is what the early church fathers are saying. So let's go to homily 21 on the Gospel of John. Now, again, we're talking about the wedding at Cana here, and here he says that Jesus was very vehement in his response when he says, "Woman, what have I to do with thee?" So he says, for this is where Mary intervened, and she wanted to do a favor for the wedding host. She said, "For she desired both to do them a favor, and through her son to render herself more conspicuous. Perhaps, too, she had some human feeling like his brethren when they said, 'Show yourself to the world.'" That's John 17:4. "Desiring to gain credit from his miracles. Therefore he answered her somewhat vehemently." You just think about what must go through the mind of a Roman Catholic apologist when he discovers that John Chrysostom is saying that Mary, part of the reason that she intervened at the wedding was because she wanted to show that she was so important and gain some credit from his miracles. And John actually says this when Jesus corrects her. He actually did it because he did not care. So he cared very much to honor his mother and for doing good, but he cared more for the salvation of her soul. Okay, so he says, and so this is homilies in John, homily 21, paragraph 3. And so this was a reason why he rebuked her on that occasion, saying, "Woman, what have I to do with you?" Instructing her for the future not to do things like this. Because though he was careful to honor his mother, yet he cared much more for the salvation of her soul. Okay, so that's John Chrysostom commenting on the wedding at Cana.